Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Valerie's Kitchen. What holiday is coming up now? What's the next holiday? Thanksgiving, correct. So, I'm known for my German chocolate cakes, my pound cake, my coconut cake, my carrot cake. I also make a good caramel cake. But today I want to try something different. So we're going to try a sweet potato cake since it's Thanksgiving. And I thought that this recipe would be fitting for the holidays. So let's get started. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is preheat our oven to 350 degrees. Okay? Right? So while the oven is preheating at 350 degrees, I've already prepped everything. Everything is already prepped. We're just going to put it together. But let me tell you what I did. I took 1.5 pounds of sweet potatoes. That's about 4 medium sweet potatoes. And what I did was I boiled water first. The water has come to a boil. Then you put your sweet potatoes in there and you let them boil for about 40 to 45 minutes. When they're done, you let them cool and then you peel them. You put them in a bowl and you mash them with a fork, okay, till they look like this. Okay. Then you're going to take, you also have to use, you have 5 eggs. You're going to take 1.5 cups of brown sugar, 1.5 cups of white sugar. You're going to mix them in a bowl together. Make sure you pack the brown sugar when you measure it out, okay? Then over here, we have 3 1/4 cup of cake flour. I sifted in the bowl to get the lumps out. Then I added 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 1.5 teaspoon of cinnamon, 1 teaspoon of nutmeg, and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. I sifted that all in there and I mixed it together and that is ready, okay? And then you also have a cup of butter, 7 tablespoons of vegetable oil, and we're going to use 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Okay, so let's get started. So first thing we're going to do, we're going to take the sugar that's already mixed together. You're going to put it in a mixing bowl, a stand mixer. Make sure you use the paddle when you're mixing it. Not the whip, but the paddle, okay? You're going to take your oil, your butter. That's 1 cup of butter. It's already melted. Now, when you melt it, you're going to have to let it cool a little bit before you put it in your batter. And I've already done that. I've already let it cool. I always use your spatula so you can get all your ingredients. Okay? And then you're going to take your oil. You're going to put your oil in. Okay? And then you're going to take a tablespoon of vanilla. You'll put your tablespoon of vanilla in, and then you're gonna mix it on medium high. First, you're gonna let it mix a little bit together before you turn it up really high, okay? All right, so you're gonna mix it on medium high for about 5 minutes, okay? While that is mixing, we're going to add our eggs to the sweet potatoes. I want to say candy yam. The sweet potatoes. So you just add them one at a time. I just use this wooden spatula to mix it. This is going to be our next ingredient, the next thing we put in. But you're going to beat that till it's nice and fluffy, light and fluffy. What I usually do is break an egg in something glass so I don't have make sure there's no shell in there. But I've been doing this for so long, normally I don't have a shell, but I want to show you guys the proper way so you don't make any mistakes. Scraping the sides as you go. Then you add your another egg. Scrape the sides really good. Mix it really good with the spatula. You can use a regular spatula. You don't have to have a wooden one. I just like to use the wooden one. Okay? It's looking really nice. And then the last egg. No shell. I always check for the shell. Nobody wants a crunchy cake. Okay, so we're gonna, while that's beating, I'm gonna tell you guys a funny Thanksgiving story. Okay? Y'all ready? I used to live next door to my mother-in-law. That's where we used to live next door, my family. We used to live next door to my mother-in-law. That's where everybody gathered for Thanksgiving. So I always make the cakes. Everybody love my cakes. And they especially love my German chocolate cake. Sometimes I have to make two because everybody wants my German chocolate cake. So my brother-in-law, you have to know my brother-in-law to appreciate this story, but my brother-in-law, I prepared all my food at my house. So we do like potluck. So I think I did the greens, and I think I did the, when it was time for, when I was finished with my food, getting ready to go next door, I prepared all my stuff at my house. So when we got ready to take everything to my mother-in-law's house, I had a cake pan, a plastic cake pan. You put your cake on it, you put the top on it, and you lock it on the sides, okay? So my brother-in-law got so comfortable, everybody knows you don't trust those things. You hold it from the bottom. How about my brother-in-law, who is one of my German chocolate cake connoisseurs? He loves my German chocolate cake. How about he picks it up, and as he's walking over, the cake, the bottom came out and fell. So it wasn't nice. I was so upset. But God was on his side. The cake fell straight, the bottom straight on the floor. Nothing happened. We put the top back on the cake, and we went over next door. But yes,
he never moved it.
We talk about it every Thanksgiving. He cannot touch the German chocolate cake. That's not his job. We've given him cups, plate. You know, the people that don't know how to cook, you give them cups, plate, and napkins. Well, he have to tote the cup, plates, and napkins. He cannot touch the cake. Okay, I thought you guys would appreciate that story. All right, so now that's been about 5 minutes. That was a 5-minute story, and it looks real good. Let's look at the batter. Look how nice that batter looks. See, it's nice, it's light, and it's fluffy. Okay? So, I'm going to turn it on. And then I'm going to add the sweet potato. You don't have to add it gradually. You just put the sweet potato and egg mixture in here all at one time. Got to use the spatula. Now, Miss Wynn, I'm going to tell you about the story about the spatula. When I used to work at Dairy Queen was my very first job. The lady who owned Dairy Queen, the owner, her name was Miss Halstead. So whenever you would, Dairy Queen got that good chill. So you turn it back on and let it beat until it's nice and mixed in there, okay? It's going to take about a minute or so. It's not on high. It's not on medium. It's like maybe on medium low. So Miss Halstead, when you went to open the chili, if you did not have a spatula and you did not scrape that can with the spatula, you might get fired. Because she said it was about 4 chili dogs still left up in that can. So you use a spatula because the spatula is going to get all of your ingredients. Don't use a spoon, use a spatula. Okay. All right. And I'm going to show y'all what I mean by that. Y'all see this bowl? If I'm going to use a spatula, I may have left like 3 slices of cake up in there. So, I learned that from Miss Halstead. All right. Now, we're going to gradually add the flour mixture. A little bit at a time. You do it on low. Okay? While it's running, you add your mixture. A little at a time. And you want to do it on low because if it's on high, your batter's going to splatter everywhere and it makes your cake tough. So you don't want to do that. You kind of rubbery. You don't want a rubbery cake. So you're going to do a little bit at a time on low. Y'all learned a lot from the Halsteads working at Dairy Queen. Alright, let's try to get the rest. I don't need a spatula for this one. Alright. It's almost finished mixing. I'm going to give it about now. Okay. So, turn it off. Okay. And get my spatula. Okay, so let's get a view of the batter. See how nice that looks? That batter looks so nice. Okay, so I've already prepared the pans. I cut some parchment paper. I sprayed the pans with a little non-stick spray. I put my parchment paper at the bottom. Then I sprayed the parchment paper. Then I sprinkled a little flour. That's all you have to do. Okay, so you got to put an even amount of cake mix, cake batter into, this is not mix, because that means that it is not scratch. So we're going to say batter. So you got to put an even amount of batter into each pan. Okay, so I'm going to start off with 2 cups, 2 heaping cups in each. Okay. Okay. So, we see there's going to be 2 cups. I'll go with my spatula again. Okay. All right, so 2. So we're not going to get 3 more cups in each. Okay, so now I got my half cup. All right. So you got heaping half cups. Okay. All right. So it's got about 2.5 cups each. And then scrape the bowl really good. And probably put about a spatula of each in there. I'm just going to give me 1 more. All right, that's it. Okay, so then we're going to spread it evenly in the pan. Shake it down just a little bit. And then I got a little cake on here. Batter on here. Okay. Then we're going to put it in the oven for 30 minutes, okay? Then after you put it in the oven for 30 minutes, you take them out the oven, put them on racks for 5 minutes. After you take them out of the oven, put them on racks for 5 minutes, you're going to take the cakes out of the pans, the top side down on your cooling racks, and let them cool for about maybe 30 minutes, and then you can put them in the refrigerator. That's my grandbaby, y'all. You can put them in the refrigerator for about 2 hours. However, if you not in a hurry to put the frosting on it, you can let them just cool out overnight on your counter, however you want to do it, okay? But if you want to do a quick cool, you put them in the refrigerator for about 2 hours, okay? So now, you wrap them up, of course, before you do that. I'll wrap it in a little parchment paper, then put them, don't stack them, but kind of spread them out in your refrigerator, okay? So we'll go ahead, put them in the oven, like I said, for about 25 to 30 minutes. When you stick a toothpick in the middle and it comes out clean, they're done. You don't want to overcook them, though, because you're going to dry them out. So do not overcook them. Okay, so we're back. The cakes are done. They are beautiful. We divided the batter up 3 ways. I think it took about 2.5 cups of batter per pan. Okay, so then we divided it, put it in the oven, took it exactly 30 minutes. They're nice, they're ready. So now what we're going to do is we're going to flip them. And remember I said we're going to turn them with the top down. Okay. So take that off. Put them on the cooling rack. Okay. Take this one off. All right. Put it on the cooling rack. Okay. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to let them cool for another 2-3 minutes. Then I'm going to wrap them in parchment paper because I want to ice them before tomorrow morning. I want to get it done tonight. So I'm going to wrap them in parchment paper. I'm going to let them stay in the refrigerator. I'll probably put them in the freezer for an hour. Then we'll come back and we'll put the icing on. Okay? Okay, so while the cake layers are cooling, we're going to go ahead and make the icing. Okay? So we're going to start with 2 8-ounce blocks of cream cheese. I've already put 1 in here. 2 sticks of butter. 3/4 teaspoon of salt. And a tablespoon of vanilla. Okay? So we got the salt because this is a salted cream cheese frosting. Okay? So remember what I said about scraping? Don't forget, get all your ingredients. So take your spatula. Get all my cream cheese. Okay. 2 sticks of butter in there. Now this have been, they're at room temperature. So they've been out for about 2-3 hours. I had it out on my counter for about 3 hours till it got to room temperature or soft enough where it can mix, okay? So we're going to turn it on low. Let it be on low for a minute.
Do that thing have numbers on it? How do you know it's on low?
It's on number 1. Well, everybody's mix is going to be different. Some people mix are going to have low. So whatever is low on your mixer, people going to know. Okay? So then we're going to turn it up to about medium. And let it beat for about a minute. Okay? So that's the salt. Just 3/4 salt. Then we're going to let it beat for about a minute. Okay? I don't have any good stories about this.
This is the first time you're making this cake, right?
Yeah, but I don't have any good stories like I have. Okay, now one thing I can tell you is this calls for 8 cups of confectioner sugar. I did sift it, okay? Now, if you want it less sweet, not as sweet as it calls for, you can use 6 cups of confectioner sugar. So, you can do that if you don't like a real sweet cake.
So how many is that?
8 cups. And I may not use 8. It depends. I go by consistency. So when it starts looking like the way I want it to look, then I'm going to stop putting the confectioner sugar in. It's to your own taste. It's your taste. Okay, so we're going to turn it down while we add the confectioner sugar. I add a little bit at a time. But it's to your liking. It's what you like.
What size?
It don't matter, baby. Baby, that don't matter. That don't matter. You can use a full cup if you want to. It's just what I can find.
Okay.
So, see, as you can see, you know that's not going to be enough confectioner sugar. I'm gonna use all my confectioner sugar. I'm sorry. We are on a low carb diet, so.
Are you gonna eat that cake or you gonna?
I'm gonna taste the piece. I'm gonna taste the piece. So now I'm gonna turn it up.
What's that turned on high?
Medium.
It's getting creamy.
I got it up on medium now. Just let it be for about 3 minutes. Might not even take it 3 minutes, just until
two and a half.
Until it's like light and fluffy like you want it. All right, so the icing is ready. So I'm going to take it out. Move my spatula. Okay. Get your icing off. Remember your spatula. I don't get too much around the paddle though, because sometimes butter gets stuck up in there. See how that is? I don't do too much. Okay, so like I said, don't take all of that off the spatula because you got all those lumps. So I don't scrape the spatula too much. Okay? It's enough icing in here. So I'm going to stir it because there was a little loose flour on the spatula that fell over in here. So I'm going to stir it one time just to get that in there, and it's still nice and creamy. So you're going to put, well, let me get the cake first. Okay. So I'm going to put this one on bottom because it's kind of ugly. So we'll put this one on bottom with the bottom down. I mean the top down. Okay? So you're going to put about a third of the icing on first. And you're going to just kind of lightly spread it, not too much. Not too much.
You said a third?
Just a little bit, yes. About a third. And then you're going to put your next layer on.
So I noticed you didn't take it all the way to the edge.
Nope, it's gonna eventually fall to the edge. Ooh, that cake smells so good. So you might want to hold it in place with your hand while you're spreading. Okay?
Seems like you got a little.
See, yes.
Okay.
See, it's moving a little bit, but there you go. When you put these cakes on it, it's gonna fall. Then you're gonna put this last one on And I want the top facing up on this last layer. Okay? And then that's when you're going to put your icing on top. Might not even need all this icing. But anyway, we're going to put as much on there as we can because we're not going to ice in the sides.
And that's a sweet potato cake?
Yep. Now, if you want to ice in your sides, you can. But I'm not icing in the sides. And then if you want to make the tops look really good, if you want to garnish, you can take orange peel and take like a potato peeler and go around the edges of it. I'll show you how to do it. We'll do it with lemon. I do lemon instead of orange. I'm going to take my spatula and I'm gonna kind of swirl it a little bit. Just a little swirl, kind of give it just a little look. All right. Okay, so you can garnish it. You can put lemon peel on top, orange peel on top, or you can just leave it like this. I'm not going to eat any orange peel anyway, so we'll leave it like this, and that's it. That is a good-looking cake, and I'm going to tell you, it smells so good. You got that cinnamon, that nutmeg in there, and those sweet potatoes. This is going to be a good cake, y'all. I've already tasted the batter. This is going to be a delicious cake, okay? Man, this is going to be a good cake. You're supposed to wait till it completely chill, but you can put it in the refrigerator, let it chill, but we're going to eat a piece. Look at that. Ooh, so moist. You know, sweet potatoes make it moist anyway. Kind of tastes like a spice cake. That is so good. That's a good cake, isn't it?
And this sweet potato?
Sweet potato cake with salted cream cheese. You can't even taste the salt, but it gives it like a little tang.
Yeah. That's good.
You share that last little piece.
So keto.
Back on tomorrow, baby.